What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrubby here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are all having an absolutely fantastic day. I know I am. If you are, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam. You're gonna fall asleep tonight and the bubblegum princess herself is going to come into your room and punch you in the nose until you can no longer smell any flowers. Yeah, that's right, guys. You don't want that to happen, so be sure to press the like button. Anyways, guys, today, as you can tell from the title and thumbnail, we're going to be talking about one of the cringiest kids that's ever existed. A subscriber sent me this story, and I automatically knew that I had to tell it as soon as I finished reading it, because trust me, I've read plenty about cringe, okay? I've single-handedly almost overdosed at least 37 times on cringe, and I can tell you that this kid might actually be the cringiest person to ever exist. No joke, no scam. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today, so without further ado, let's get into the video. Get yourself some Sorry Karen merch because it's going away on December 1st, and also use code Scrubby at gfuel.com. Now that we got the plugs out of the way, let's get into the entertainment. Jing 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 a ding ding ding. So there was this kid at school named Felix, and Felix would constantly claim that he was a black belt in karate and can beat everybody up, like randomly, alright? Like you're just sitting there, you know, talking about the way, I don't know, the Chicago Bears won the game last night, and he would just walk up to you and go, just so you know, I'm a black belt and I can beat you up, which is a really weird thing to say out of nowhere, alright? Like you're like, oh, hey Felix, how you doing? I am a karate professional and I 100% could absolutely beat you and there's nothing you can do about it. Like, it's just a weird thing to say. And basically he was kind of known for just being the kid that would constantly talk about how he could beat everybody in a fight and like would be talking to you randomly in, you know, Spanish class asking for help with the homework and then talk about how he actually, you know, could be a professional MMA fighter and could fight absolutely anyone in the class. He was just one of these kids that was constantly talking about his ability to destroy anybody in a fight and how basically he was an alpha male that was the way God intended humans to be. Like the way that this kid was designed was exactly what humans were supposed to look like. Which, I mean, if you were a 6'6" chiseled Olympian, I can kind of understand your theology there. I can understand why you feel like you're definitely the world's greatest physical specimen. But the only problem with Felix constantly flexing that he was better than everybody and could beat everybody up and was just in better shape is that he just wasn't. You see, Felix just happened to look like he fought, I don't know, a box of donuts and lost, alright? Like, this guy was a little bit of a chunky monkey. If this guy was doing karate, it would be considered, you know, Kung Fu Panda. That's how much fat this man was packing. And Felix was just constantly talking about how he was the best physical specimen, the idea of beauty, which he just wasn't, alright? Like, I understand self-confidence and all that, but, you know, people on my 600-pound life shouldn't be bragging about the fact that they're definitely karate geniuses, because it's just not true. Like, Deborah, you weigh 600 pounds. If you try to do any more karate, you're going to fall through the floor. It's not healthy. Stop pretending that you're actually the reincarnation of Bruce Lee. It's just not true. But that's what Felix was known for. He would constantly talk about how, you know, oh, I could beat anybody up. I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm an alpha male specimen capable of the most extreme physical things in the universe. Which was pretty cringe. And the worst part is you couldn't pick on him, alright? Like, you couldn't really fight back because whenever he would get bullied or picked on at all, he would immediately just start crying and go to the principal or, like, tell a teacher immediately. So here's this fat kid that is constantly talking about how he's super BA and can beat anybody up, but the second anybody makes a joke about him or tries to square up, he just runs away crying to the principal's office. So yeah, he was not exactly the most popular kid. Most people found him pretty annoying because, you know, someone constantly getting up in your face and saying that they're gonna beat you up when they look the way that beef smells just generally isn't a good way to make friends. So regardless, one day they're sitting in biology class and they're talking about, you know, the way human genes work, which I mean, is cool, I guess. Everybody wants to know, like, oh, my eye color comes from my father's side and he's blah blah blah. I don't know, alright? Biology, science. That's my scary science noise. Not that science should be scary. So whatever. They're sitting there. And of course, Felix starts going on this rant about how he's the greatest physical specimen to ever exist. He is literally the way that humans were meant to be designed for. He's strong and he can beat anybody up and he's a black belt in karate. And the only problem with constantly lying about being a black belt in karate when you look the way of like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters is that people that are actually black belts kind of know that you're full of it, right? So there's a guy who's actually a black belt in the back of the class that is just tired of hearing this guy talk about how he's the world's greatest physical specimen and how basically everybody and their mom is inferior to this guy's genetics. So he says, yeah, made a joke about physical specimen drinking 2-liter bottles of Mountain Dew every day. Because an important thing to remember about Felix, and another reason why people just assumed that he was in fact not a super athlete hell-bent on destroying everything in its path, alright? He was not Bruce Lee. Is that Felix would, no joke, come to school with, a water bottle, right? Everybody comes to school with a water bottle, but the only difference is his water bottle was a 2-liter of Mountain Dew Code Red, like filled with Mountain Dew Code Red. He would drink a 2-liter bottle of Mountain Dew Code Red every single day at school. So the black belt kid makes a joke about how, drinking 2 liters of Mountain Dew every day does not make you a peak physical specimen. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's actually pretty bad for you. Which is pretty funny. Like, it's a pretty harmless joke, all right? You're constantly bragging about how you're the way that God intended humans to look when you're drinking a 2-liter bottle of Mountain Dew every day and have, a gut the size of Nantucket. Like, it's just a funny joke, all right? And not to mention, when you're constantly bragging attention to yourself and talking about how you're gonna beat everybody up, you kind of get made fun of. Like, that's just what comes with the territory, all right? If tomorrow I bought a tap-out shirt, started breaking Monster Energy cans open on my forehead and screaming about how everybody's a beta male compared to me, I kind of deserve to get clowned on it any chance you get. Regardless, it should have just been a harmless joke. Like, no harm, no foul. Yeah, everybody laughed a little bit, but you just let it go and move on with your day. But no, apparently Felix, had the equivalent in his head that insulting his Mountain Dew habits was basically the same thing as saying that his grandma was a dirty pig half buried in mud and feces. Because he gets up, walks over to the kid that's a black belt, gets up in his face, and just starts screaming. And amongst his screams says something along the lines of, and you can't make this up, folks, because it's just so ridiculous. You can say a lot of things about me, but if you ever talk about my Mountain Dew, I will smite you. Like, yeah, out of everything someone could insult, bro. Like, you know what? My mom is fair game. You can call my mom a 2-bit floozy that definitely doesn't know who my father is. That's totally cool. But the second you insult my Mountain Dew, how dare you? Mountain Dew is not a drink. It is a lifestyle, okay? I can't believe that anybody would insult the thing nearest and dearest to me, which is the lifestyle of Mountain Dew. Just gets weirdly upset about the fact that they're making fun of him drinking Mountain Dew, which is bizarre, right? Like, imagine somebody calling you a subpar physical specimen that is chubby, and you only get mad about your soda choices being called into question, bruh. You might have called my mom a rusty fish hook attached to a droopy dead marlin, but don't you dare talk about my Pepsi habits. Like, it's just a really weird thing to get extremely upset about. Like, why would you get upset about your soda drinking habits when somebody just said that you're a subpar physical specimen? Like, they just said that you are a degradation to the human species, and you're only mad about the fact that they called your Mountain Dew Code Red gross? So at this point, there's a scene. They're obviously up in each other's faces, screaming at each other about each other's soda choices, just the ultimate insult, which is, I don't like the way that you drink your soda. Yeah, once you say that, it goes too far, apparently. I don't know what's going on at this school, all right? I would much rather have somebody make fun of my favorite soda than make fun of, like, my mom or my brother, but I guess in certain places, hey, certain things are just too far, bro. So the teacher calms down the situation, and that basically makes Felix think that he won, though. Like, he got up in this black belt's face, and the black belt didn't fight him, mainly because the teacher was like, hey, guys, keep a friendly reminder that if you get in a fight, you're gonna get in a ton of trouble. But in Felix's mind, that means that he won, right? Like, he's like, oh, yeah, I won the battle. Anyone who insults my soda choices gets immediately roasted by me, the god, Felix, the ultimate roasting god, all right? People might try to 1v1 me in a rap battle, but the truth is that I, as Felix, the black belt that I am, will single-handedly destroy the army of Genghis Khan. Like, just got this massive ego because the teacher broke up the argument. So he starts, like, bullying his classmates with this 2-liter bottle of Mountain Dew in his hand, right? Like, he's basically picking on them, doing everything he can to make them miserable, and basically, Felix had a mom that was a bit of a Karen and would cause problems, so nobody really messed with him. But, like, at one point, he starts hitting kids with this 2-liter bottle in the PE locker room. Just very not dope things, Imagine going to school, feeling like you're gonna be safe, bro. You're just chilling in gym class, getting ready to run a mile or something, and then this fat kid walks up and just starts swinging a 2-liter bottle of Mountain Dew Code Red at you. Like, what are you even supposed to do to that, man? School's supposed to be a safe place, and this guy's walking around like an obese diabetic knight, except instead of a mace, he has a 2-liter bottle of Mountain Dew. Rip little Jimmy, He could have withstood a hit from a 1-liter, but the 2-liter was too much. Rest in peace. Like, I don't even know what to say, man. If I was at school and somebody started trying to swing on me with a 2-liter bottle of Mountain Dew, I would be so confused, so perplexed. This is not what I signed up for when I joined the 8th grade, okay? So basically, Felix goes on this, bullying tear for like 2 weeks, making everybody miserable with this 2-liter bottle, right? And over this time, because nobody's really fighting back to him because the teachers had a soft spot for him, he gets cockier and cockier until one day, the black belt kid that had called him a subpar physical specimen? Yeah, Felix decides that it's time to punk him again, except this time in the lunchroom, and he basically is gonna make the kid give him his pudding, which apparently, is like crack cocaine in this school, okay? The person who sent me this story spent like an entire paragraph telling me about how important pudding is at his school. Like, Ryan, the pudding mafia, dude, they control the pudding supply. I'm not even kidding. Pudding is basically gold in my school, like you guys might need to work on that because pudding it's good, but I don't think it's like the world's greatest dessert food, okay? Like nobody is ever extremely hyped that there's pudding on the menu at a restaurant, I'll get hyped about gelato, but I'm not gonna get hyped about pudding. But that's enough about dessert foods. Let's get back to the story. That's my bad. I got distracted. So basically, Felix walks up to this kid in the lunchroom and starts trying to flex on him, and Black Belt has had enough at this point, all right? He's smacked kids with his 2-liter bottle. He's threatened to sit on a couple people, and we all know that would be lethal. Like, he's basically just terrorized the school at this point, and Black Belt kid is having none of it. He's like, you know what? That's enough. I'm over it. I'm done. So I guess they like started fighting, and it's at this point that the person who sent me the story actually walked into the lunchroom and basically sees this commotion, runs over, gets to the front of the pile, and what he sees he described as what would happen if a redneck made a kung fu movie, which is a pretty good way to describe a fight involving a 2-liter bottle of Mountain Dew. So I guess that they were fighting, and at one point Felix decides that the only way he's gonna win is by throwing the 2-liter bottle of Mountain Dew at this kid. So he throws it, and obviously does not have a very athletic throw. Felix is not Tom Brady out here dropping dimes to wide receivers in the end zone. He doesn't throw it very well, which is obviously, like, what did you expect? We all saw that coming, that he wasn't going to be extremely athletic. But I guess the bottle goes flying over the other black belt kid's head, breaks on the wall, and just, like, gets code red everywhere. So there's a code red explosion, and then they just start fighting each other. But the only problem is Felix very obviously isn't a black belt. It's fair to everyone at this point, because he's basically just trying to hug this kid and like drop him to the floor with the amount of weight that he has. Like, he's like, ah, crap, I'm not gonna win if we actually fight. So he's just hugging this kid, and the kid that he's hugging, trying to fight him, is sitting there like, dude, stop hugging me, we're supposed to fight. And Felix is just like, we are fighting, you're getting destroyed by an A1 black belt. Just the weirdest fight you've ever seen, bruh. Like, imagine walking into your lunchroom and there's two kids hugging each other viciously with code red splattered all over the place because one of them decided to throw a 2-liter bottle at the other one's head. That's what I call a weird Tuesday, okay? Go back to class, kids, act like nothing happened, looking teachers. But whatever, the fight progresses, and finally the black belt kid gets the upper hand, picks up Felix and body slams him, and no joke, cracks a tile underneath where he body slammed the kid, bruh. I'm sorry, but if you drink enough Mountain Dew where you getting body slammed, cracks a tile, you really need to go on some Weight Watchers Jenny Craig type beat, okay? Like, listen, I know what you guys are thinking. There's probably gonna be a comment right now, Ryan, you're fat shaming. Nah, bro, if you want to be a little husky, that's all on you. But if you weigh enough to crack a tile when you get body slammed, it's not healthy, all right? My 600-pound life status, and that's not good for anyone at all. Like, nobody wins in that situation. It just doesn't happen. Regardless, I guess after that, the embarrassment of getting body slammed before the teacher breaks it up with the entire school watching, Felix kind of realized that he couldn't bully people anymore, which, I mean, hey, I guess is a good life lesson. Like, is it better to, learn your lesson by getting body slammed after throwing a bottle of Mountain Dew, or just never be a bully in the first place? But regardless, he kind of got that embarrassment that he needed to not be a bad person anymore, which is really half the battle. Like, if you get so embarrassed that you stop being a jerk, it's okay at that point. Like, you might as well forgive yourself. But regardless, guys, moral of the story is maybe don't pretend to be a black belt and try to fight people if you're not a black belt. Like, I don't even understand the thought process there. I'm not a black belt. I've been lying about being a black belt, so I should go fight an actual black belt. What type of idea is that, bro? Like, what, did you watch a Karate Ken DVD when you were 6? Take 1 lessons of karate, bro, and now you think you're Jason Bourne? Oh my god, it's Jason Bourne. With a 2-liter bottle of Mountain Dew strapped to your hip so hard, bro? I don't think so. You're basically the diabetic Kung Fu Kenny. Like, listen, you want to know why I don't go around fighting people? Because I know I'm not a black belt, and I know that if I actually tried to fight a black belt, I would get wrecked. But that's the difference between me and people, I guess, these days. Some people just want to get beat up by black belts like it's on their bucket list, get embarrassed, and, you know, get body slammed enough to break a tile after throwing a bottle of Mountain Dew. But hey, to each their own, I guess. On that note, though, guys, hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, head over to gfuel.com and use code Scrubby at checkout for 30% off. Get yourself some merch, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and be sure to turn on notifications. Today's notification shout out goes to the very fun, sometimes active, and occasionally swaggin' Scuffed. Yes, that is right. I appreciate you fellas. If you guys enjoyed the video and you turned on notifications, send a screenshot to me at Scrubby. I shout somebody out every day on Instagram, so yeah, be sure to send that in. And on that note, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. Have yourselves an incredible day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. I'm out. Peace.